Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Batman Beyond figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beasts, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
And there's a quick look at the artwork on the back of the box. And it's the same thing on both sides. Let's bust this bad boy open. Alright, taking a look at Terry McGinnis, aka Batman Beyond, out of the package. This is a figure that I was able to pick up early from San Diego Comic-Con 2018 this past weekend. I do know that the regular release should be shipping soon. I see a lot of people got their ship soon notice from Mezco. But I wasn't even going to review this figure, but after taking him out of the package and looking at him and realizing how nice of a figure it was, I said, you know what, I'm going to look at him and review him for the people that weren't able to get the pre-order or make it out to SDCC. So yeah, man, I think this guy came out really nice. I think it's some great craftsmanship here from Mezco. I like the way he looks in hand. He looks phenomenal. It's a lot of different textures to the suit and not too many colors going on. But again, it's a very well-made, clean figure here from Mezco. So let's look at his accessories. So out of the package, he comes with two fisted hands, and I'm actually take a look at his deco up close before I swap on the other accessories. So again, mostly black here, just some different shades of black, but again, the texture in here is really nice. All of the mesh parts here are mixed in with some, I guess, sort of like faux patent leather parts all throughout the entire suit here. This is a raised sculpted part, and it feels really smooth to the touch, and it's nice and shiny, a nice metallic red paint here. The belt is a separate part, and that looks good. It looks pretty accurate. These spikes on his gloves are really sharp, but they're pretty hard to the touch. You do have to be careful though, because you can definitely bend or break these off, but they're very sharp to the touch, so you know, be cautious with that. The head sculpt looks pretty spot on. I think it looks really good. Not much going on there, but it definitely looks like a mask, a futuristic mask of some sort, and this little backpack apparatus where I assume his wings come out of here. We'll get into that shortly, but the costume in general is very, very nice. I do like what they did here, down to the boots, which are a different texture. They do look like they're separate, and you know, it doesn't all look like one piece, so it looks very good, man. All right, moving right along. And then he's also packed in with a set of open hands with the fingers spread, and these are clawed, and these look really good. I had no issue swapping them out. And then he's packed in with a set of semi-open hands. These are going to be used to hold one of his other accessories, and these look fine, so let's get into that other accessory. And he's also packed in with three of these little futuristic Batarangs, which are pretty delicate, and they are sharp to the touch as well, so you need to be cautious with these also. But they look good. You can see the red on the outer rim and the red right in the center there, and it's shaped like the Bat logo. Same thing on both sides. But these are nicely painted. They look good. And there he is holding them, which he can hold without an issue. Before we get into his final two accessories, I'll show this just because I had to get through this to get to those. But all Mezco figures come with a stand, so it's a nice little metallic base with the arm, which I never really use, and this little baggie for you to put all of your accessories and stuff back into. But moving right along, he's also packed in with his wings that are supposed to extend out from that little backpack apparatus. And just taking a close look at these before I swap them on. You can see some little techie parts there. Surprised they didn't make that, highlight that with a different color or something. But on the opposite side, you can see that it's red. And you can see that little peg, so I suppose the other backpack will come out and this one will plug in. So let's see. They actually included some instructions in here. So step 1, to assemble wings, gently unplug and remove backpack cover. Step 2, plug in wing piece. And there's that. So you see how that looks, and we should be able to just plug this in. And there he is with the wings on, and that looks great. See, the wingspan is pretty wide. I'd say that's about tip to tip, it's about 8 inches, I guess. Pause, super pause. But yeah. And then his final accessory are these two rocket boosters, which pretty much coincide with his wings. So when you got them flying, you can plug these in. They plug in very easy right on the bottom of his boots. And these look good. Let's get him in a flying pose. And there's a look at that. So you can see the boosters and the wings and everything working in tandem. Let's focus. And I think that looks really cool. And if you wanted to use the Mezco stand and get him up, you could. And there you go. I'm actually just holding it here, but you get the picture. You definitely have some options. And going over his articulation, pretty standard articulation for a Mezco figure, but he is hindered a bit by this suit. I'm thinking back to the Mezco Special Ops Punisher, which I just reviewed, and how that suit had a pretty decent amount of give. This one doesn't have the same range of motion, or doesn't allow for the same range of motion, but it's okay. So head is on the ball joint. He's going to look up just that far. I actually wish he looked up more, but he can look down pretty far, left to right, do a little pivot, full 360, no problem there. The shoulders are great. They can come up pretty far, and that looks cool when you articulate in the shoulders with the wings or what have you. You have to articulate them and then just kind of spin them like this, because unfortunately, you're not going to get them that far up this way. If you push them up this far or too far going back, then you're absolutely going to stress the material here. And I do notice that there is a greater range in the shoulders, but still not as great as I would have hoped for or liked. But anyway, upper bicep swivel, you do get a little bit more than 90 degrees on the elbow. I'm sure it is a double jointed elbow, but I would assume it's just hindered by the costume. A swivel and a hinge on the wrist. You do get upper torso articulation, so you can rotate them there and move them back and forward just a little bit, and you get just a slight bit of ab articulation. Again, that Punisher figure had a little more give, and I wish this guy had more give, especially considering he's a figure that's going to be, you're going to have him simulate in flight and what have you. You definitely want him to be able to go back and get him in that signature kind of flight pose. But yeah, so I guess it's like a T-joint here at the pelvis. I don't know. Legs are going to come up just about that far. Split is going to look like that. Again, you're not going to want to pull this too far out because you will rip the suit there. You do get a double jointed knee, which seems to be working fine with no issue. You get a swivel and a hinge on the foot and a slight ankle pivot. I really do wish Mezco would broaden the range as far as the ankle pivot goes. I think that's something that they could, the figures could benefit from for sure. But, you know, not too bad, not that great. And a few quick size comparisons. Here he is next to some other Mezco figures. You have the Mezco Judge Dredd here on the left, and on the right you have the Mezco The Dark Knight Rises Batman, which was Mezco's first 112 collective figure, if I'm not mistaken. And there he is next to the Mezco Deadpool, Redpool, and on the right the Punisher, which was the first Punisher release with the vest from the PX Previews version. And there he is next to the SH Figuarts Black Ranger on the left, and the Marvel Legends Kraven on the right. And there he is next to the NECA Ripley figure on the left, and on the right the Star Wars Black Series Jaina Solo, which I'm happy I got Dwight to concede is a great female figure with great articulation. So hopefully in 2019 we'll see some added articulation on some female characters from Marvel Legends. Alright, I'm sidetracking, moving right along. And there he is next to the Deluxe Figma Deadpool on the left, and the Mafex Scarecrow on the right. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm getting up out of here. I think this figure came out really, really nice. Now, one of my gripes, though, is that, you know, the suit is a little restrictive. You're not going to really get him crouching real low and get him in that sort of Spider-Man-esque, Batman-esque pose for top of buildings and stuff like that. You're not going to get that out of the suit. While the suit looks really good and everything on the figure looks really good, you know, it's going to be a little bit of hindrance as far as the posability goes. And I also forgot to break out the other face. This was the last accessory, the interchangeable head with the sort of angry gritted teeth look, which I think looks very good. But, you know, overall, I do really, really like this figure, and it's one that I would recommend. If you can still get them for a reasonable price, I would recommend that you do that. Other than that, I wouldn't pay an arm and a leg on a secondary market. You know, you got to strike while the iron is hot as far as the Mezco figures go. So thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, Peace.